Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Cool Ninja 77 here, and today we are back with part 3 of the worst first series. In the first one, we put Toten, and the second one we actually put Verrucht, and now is the one I'm betting most of you guys thought would going to be in number 1 for the worst map of Call of Duty Treyarch Zombies. Well, I'm here to prove you guys right, that maybe it should have been in number 1, and maybe I wasn't thinking, or maybe you guys don't give Transit enough credit for what it is. So, as always, we're gonna start with the pros, because there are a few pros of this map that maybe some people might be like, oh, that's so stupid, that should be a con. Maybe it is, but we have a lot of cons, and I don't want to add to that list. So we are going to start with the pros, the few pros, I should say. So, pros. Although people might not like it, I thought it was a great idea, and we have the bank. Now, you say, oh, that's for noobs. The bank is for noobs, because they can just store money in there, and they just come grab it out the next game. Really? Because all I know is to get 250k for me to put it in the bank, it took me to around 50. I did around 50 on Buried, and I was able to put 250k in the bank. Now, I know you can do it over rounds, but do you see a noob getting past round 10? Let's be honest. Do you see a noob getting past round 10? What do you have? How many points do you have at round 10? Like 1,000? That's with if you buying guns and stuff. If you don't buy guns, what? Do you have like 10, 15,000? Is that really going to make a difference? I don't really think so. I think the bank is good just to give those good players, I guess, a little bit of an edge. And just make their setup easier. It's not like it's going to change the game, because money doesn't do anything after about so long into it. So I think it's just a nice start. Same thing with the fridge. Now, if you want pack-a-punch weapons on round 1, go ahead and take it. I could care less what you guys do with your guns. Just, I feel like that's wasting points and ammo, which I guess you don't need points if you use both these combined. So, whatever. I have to give Transit credit. They are also the first ones to introduce the special perks, or the, I don't want to call them perma-perks, but I don't know what they're called. The little green mist shows up where you get the extra box luck. You get the sniper rifle perma-perk where you get tons of money. And you can get the perma-jug, I think it's called, where you can take like a few hits more without Juggernog. All these ones are great. I love them, and they are one of the greatest pros with Transit. This one I threw in here for lols, and another pro would be my boy, Ted. Like, he's always driving us through. It doesn't matter if there's denizens outside, if there's zombies outside, he just does his job. And he deserves grade a raise for it. Just a wonderful guy. This is actually a legit one. Another pro on Transit is the cabin and Nocturne Toten. These, I would say, might be my favorite part of Transit in general. Like, I just love these two things about Transit. The cabin is just so cool, even though you have to get there through running through fog and looking like a moron, running through the fog while sniping the stupid denizens off your face. But eventually you get there and you can get the Bowie knife, which is pretty cool, and the jet gun part. And it's just kind of cool to hang around in. And even though you won't stay there for any long periods of time, it's just cool to look around. Same thing with Noct, is it's probably one of the best parts about Transit, because it fits. It fits is the best part about it, because, again, you run through the cornfield and look like a moron through the fog in the cornfield. But when you get there, just the satisfaction. And you go into Noct and you feel nostalgia. Until you remember you're on Transit, and this might be one of the worst maps of all time. Then we have another great thing, not only about Transit, on Black Ops 2 in general. Galvaknuckles. These things are incredible. The first time I played zombies with my friends on farm, I seen these things and I was like, what are these? And we didn't even know how to pronounce them, so we called them Electric Punch or Electric Punch. Whatever we called it, they were amazing. It's like, this thing is a one hit till round 16? Round 16, guess what our high round was on farm? 17, because that's when the Galvaknuckles stopped being a one hit, baby. Those things were incredible. And I literally would base my whole farm runs off getting the Galvaknuckles Jug and Quick Revive. These things were revolutionary, and these things are like nostalgia to me playing zombies. Maybe that's why I'm a little biased. And weapons. This is also in Black Ops 2 in general, because Black Ops 2 probably has my favorite weapons out of all the zombies games. I know I've just said World at War has my favorites, but this one has to be my actual favorite besides like me fanboying on the World War II guns, because I don't know, just there's a variety, and that's one thing I love. There's some great guns like the Executioner, the Galil, the Hammer. We have some mediocre guns like the RPD. I was gonna say DSR, but I would say that's a good or better one. And then there's the horrible weapons like the SMR and those type of weapons. It's just variety which spices up the game, if you know what I'm saying. Now, I'm going to have to take a drink before I get into some of these cons, because there is so many. So 1 second. Okay. The first con, and maybe the biggest con of this whole map for me, it's the denizens. I can't deal with these little grubby whatever things they are just crawling on you and scratching out your eyes. Like, what are you doing? The first time I played Transit, I ran into the fog and I was like, oh man, what is this thing on my face? And I died because I didn't know that you had to knife it. Why would my first reaction be just a knife? Why? I tried shooting, I tried running to try to get it to fall off. Why would I just randomly knife? Well, I didn't, and I died. The next thing I have is too big of a map. Now, I don't know why companies and developers these days think that big maps are the funnest thing in the world. Like, why do you think that we all want a big map? Now, we don't want some tiny maps like Nocturne and Toten, but we don't want this giant map where you could literally fit, like, 5 Horizon Drox, and then throw in Origins as well. That's how big this thing is. It's ginormous. A little bit of being a little dramatic, but that's beyond the point. The next thing we have is the Avogadro. And this guy is horrible. They don't give him he's not even a cool, fun, unique, okay, he's unique, but he's not even a fun boss. And you can't do damage to him? Like, what is this? The only way to damage him is by punching? Again, who in their right mind would think, oh, there's an electric guy coming down. When he opens up, I think I'll go punch him. Maybe that will kill him. No. Your first reaction is empty all your bullets into him, and you probably died because you emptied your bullets into him. He didn't die. He probably shocked you and got you red, and then a zombie just snuck up behind and slapped you. One of the worst things about it, but actually once you start playing, he's not that bad, but just the first few times, he is horrible. The fourth thing on this map that just makes me cringe every time I want to play this map. Good joke, I don't want to play this map. Just pack-a-punching. And it somehow seems to not work for me every time I play this map consistently. And I've looked up guides how to do it because I thought maybe I did something wrong. No, I do everything right. The guides do the same thing. Somehow it never works for me. And usually 1 out of my 5 games on Transit, the Pack-a-Punch won't open for me. I'm a little bit salty. Perk locations, you already know. You already know. Why would you put Speed Cola and Double Tap before you get to power? Before you get to power, like, what were you thinking? So before I have to go to the power, grab Juggernog, and maybe stamina up, ride all the way back to get Speed Cola and Double Tap. Wow, that was a great idea. The next thing I have is Power, which, again, isn't the worst, but just the location of it. I don't even want to keep talking, and we got a long way to go. Next thing we have is Buildables, which, sure, Buildables are cool. You can only have one part at a time, which when you're trying to build the jet gun, which has one part in every little big function city and some out in the woods, and I have to run 5 miles to go put one part down. That is not my idea of fun, Treyarch. Please and thank you. Never do this again. Thank you. The Easter egg. Who thought it'd be fun to get the Avogadro? This is one side. I don't know whose it is, but you have to get the freaking Avogadro to sit inside the power thingies that I can't think of right now. And you got to get him there, and you have to EMP him, which 50% of the time doesn't even work. And let's just say the first time me and my friends did this Easter egg, we didn't finish it because our game lagged out on the last step where you have to jump through the portals at the same time. And we didn't care to ever do this map Easter egg again. Again, we have the jet gun. Goes into you can only carry one part at a time, and it just has to be the worst wonder weapon of all time. Someone at Treyarch was like, I have a great idea. Let's make the thunder gun, but reverse. We're gonna suck them in this time. Oh yeah, okay, that's kind of sounds cool. Until you find out the zombies can still hit you when you're sucking them in, and you can only suck in for about 5 seconds till the weapon explodes, and takes about 2 minutes to reset. Great. We're getting around to some more things that are huge that irritate me. We have the fog and lava. Now the fog isn't horrible if you took out the denizens. If you took out the denizens, the fog would be okay. Same thing with lava. The lava would still be a pain, but it wouldn't be as bad without those little... Don't just make me irritated talking about it. They just jump on your face and then it cancels your sprint and all that. And you can't revive anyone in the fog because there's denizens always grabbing you. Next we have the bus. The bus. Out of all transportation things, there's the bus and the teleporter, which shoots you to a random spot once you have a denizen on your face and you go underneath a post. Does that sound normal to you? It's like, to teleport, you have to get a denizen on your face, let him smack you a few times, and then throw him on the ground, and you can teleport from that. The bus is the slowest thing ever. I wish it would have been, paid Ted 500 points, and you can choose which location you want to go to. You can call him for 500 points. Something. Please, something. Add something. If you're going to do this next time, Treyarch, please do something about that to improve it. We have the EMPs, which are kind of cool because they keep the zombies slowed down potentially forever, I want to say. But again, they fry perks, they fry power-ups, they fry the box, which I guess the best thing about it was used for trolling. Oh, this one gets me in the heart. It's like a knife to my heart, and then I already had a knife in my heart, and then they twisted it with this one. When you think about safety in zombies, where do you think about? You think about the towns. That might be the safest spot. We have Pack-a-Punch, we have Jug and Stamina. 2 great perks and a Pack-a-Punch machine. Oh, this must be the best place to wait. Wait? No weapons? No weapons in the town? It seems like there would be weapons in the town if Pack-a-Punch is in the town, but no, there's nothing. There is nothing. No weapon. Not even like... The only thing that's potentially in the town is the B-23R. And that's when, again, you have to wait for the bus. And, yeah. Bad for new players. I don't know what Treyarch thinks half the time with their on-disc maps. They're horrible for new players. Let's think of Shadows. Let's think of Transit. Like, Noct. These are horrible maps for new players. Either being too hard, too big. I don't know what their deal is. Like, they want us to get the most content with their game. And so they give us this huge hard map that will take us time to learn. And that's not what most of the people in the community want, especially if it's their first thing. First game they've ever played. And lastly, but definitely not least about Transit, the crew. I have never ran into one person in my whole 3 years of playing zombies and a year of YouTube. Never ran into one person that says, oh, I actually like the Transit crew. I like their storyline. It's very interesting. And usually if anyone likes anyone, they like Misty. And I don't even have to go into the reasons why. But yeah. Me personally, I hate Misty. Her voice just grinds me. Marlton's voice grinds me. Stuhlinger drives me nuts because there's those zombies in the background. Just constantly. Argh! And then we have Russman, which doesn't even remember his lines. That's wrong. He doesn't remember have any memory, which you can tell in his lines, and it just drives me crazy. Somehow this map didn't make the worst because it's fun? Like, that's the only reason I didn't put it on the bottom, which seeing the cons, you would think, oh, this is a worst map of all time. But surprisingly, if you have friends, jump on this map, you can have some fun just joking around. Like, it's almost so bad it could be considered good. Like, it's just one of those maps that's almost a meme at this point. And yeah, that's why it beat Noct. And there's more stuff you can do in this map and than Verrückt and Noct. So that's why I put this. And note, I was also including all the green ones pretty much in this. So we're not having a separate one for Bus Depot, a town, or farm. But other than that, guys, this has been a longer episode. I already know my throat is so dry. I need to go get some water. And other than that, guys, thank you for coming out and watching. But I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.